Hello, fourth graders. Happy Thursday. So, yesterday you took your contest on decimals for fourth grade. And now, believe it or not, we've actually covered everything in fourth grade math. Because of that, as a fourth grade team, we've decided to do a step up to fifth grade, get ready for next year math situation for the rest of the year. So don't let that scare you. It should be exciting for you. It's actually mostly going to be a review with like a couple of added on things. And we are actually continuing to talk about decimals. We're just going to go further into the place value. So today is going to be a refresher review plus a new place value. By the end of the lesson, you'll be able to identify the value and the name of the different place values. And like I said, it should already be a review for you. But what I am going to assign you on Con is going to be coming from the fifth grade Con. So that's kind of cool actually that you get to start learning for next year still this year. You guys can do this. I believe in you. So again, like I said, I'm going to be really straightforward about place value just as a review. Okay. You might be like, yeah, I already know this, but it's always good to remind yourself. So let's start with a number. And again, you can take these notes with me if you want to go get a piece of paper and a pencil. The number I'm writing down is 415. 415. So let's think about that for a second. Okay. I know that each of these is a different place value, right? I know that my 4 is in the hundreds place. I know that I have a 1 in the tens place and a 5 in the ones place. Now let's think about what is the value actually showing us, because it's not just 415, right? This isn't just a 4. Like we said, it's in the hundreds place. So this means, sorry, I'm turning the board this way. I'm literally writing out 4 hundreds using the word. I can call this 4 hundreds. I can also just call it 400. 400. That's literally what that means. If we do it for our next place value, I know that as 110, right? We already know this. I can also write it as just the number 10. And then finally, this ones place, it's just 5 ones, and all I have to do is, because it's in the ones place, just write it as a 5. That's what it is. Okay? Now, that should be a review, I hope. Okay? When we talk about our decimals, okay, the decimal point, which you have seen before, goes right after the ones place. So that decimal point serves a really special purpose. It helps us know, and you know what, I'm going to write this down. I want you to put this in your notes too. The decimal point tells us where the ones place is. So if you are looking at a number and it has a decimal point in it, your eyes visually just like, yep, that's where my ones place is. We're done. Okay? That tells you where the ones place is. Something else that I want to talk about between our place values here, okay, is that as we go from a larger place value to a smaller place value, essentially what's happening every time is that it's getting divided by 10, right? 100 divided by 10 gets us just 10. 10 divided by 10 gives us a 1, okay? Now thinking about where that decimal point is, we know this is the ones place, okay? If we're just going and we're dividing by 10 again here, okay? What would 1 divided by 10 be? Oh yeah, a 10th, right? Literally 1 over 10 is like 1 divided by 10, and we call that place value the tenths place. Okay, so if you want to pause and write this down really quick, okay, you can continue on your paper. I'm just going to pull up a new board. So we are now going into, I'm adding 3 numbers after my decimal point, and I know that all of those are going to be less than 1. So I have 415.328. Okay, now we just talked about how we go, oopsies. Basically what we're doing as the place value gets smaller is dividing by 10 every time. That's why this is called the tenths. What's a tenth divided by a tenth? 100th. We know that as the hundredths place, right? If we divide by 10, again, let's think about what would a tenth, or what would 100th divided by 10 be? Remember how we add zeros? It's actually called the thousandths place. So, to review, and I'm actually going to write this down in a second, hundreds, tens, ones, tenths, hundredths, and then this is our new one, thousandths. Okay, so you didn't really have to write anything down for this piece. What I'm gonna do now on my board, I just am gonna have the decimal place values. We're not gonna have this on there just so we have some more room. Okay, so let's name those place values, and this should look kind of familiar from our review yesterday. I just want to do kind of some labeling here. So we have 0.328, or we could call this 328,000. But we're just looking at each place value. I'm going to do a different color for each one. So my 3, I'm going to underline it. Okay, and I know that that is called the tenths place. So I'm writing the name of the place value. It's the tenths place. Now, what are some different ways we could write 3 tenths? Well, I could just put the number 3 in front of my word tenths there, and I get 3 tenths. I could also write this number as 3 over 10, 3 tenths. That's the fraction version. How would I write it as a decimal? I'm going to let you write that one down. Okay. Those are 3 different ways we could write that number. 3 tenths, 3 tenths, 3 tenths. All the same thing representing this value, tenths. Okay, our next place value is the hundredths place. Again, this is our review. Refresh. Okay, so I'm going to underline this one in blue. Okay, what does that 2 there represent? Well, I hope you said 2 hundredths. I'm writing out the word H-U-N-D-R-E-D. 2 hundredths. Now, I want you to write the 2 hundredths as a decimal and a fraction. I do that. I'm going to do it too. Okay. Check our answers. 2 hundredths written out in words. 2 over 100 is our fraction. 0.02 is our decimal. Okay. Finally, we're in the thousandths place, which is our new place value. But I hope that you are sensing a pattern here, because I'm going to make you write out the word version of this 8 thousandths. Listen to what I say, thousandths. The name version, okay, the fraction and the decimal, and I'm going to do it too. So we're talking about 8 thousandths. So it's actually just that word thousand with a TH at the end, thousandths, which are 10 times smaller than hundredths, right? Okay. And you're going to write it as a decimal, or a fraction and a decimal. Okay. If you need to pause because you need a little more time before we check, that's cool. I'm going to show you my answers. So, like I said, this 8 represents 8 thousandths. It's the word thousand with a THS at the end. Now, Here's my fraction version, 8 over 1,000, 8 thousandths. And because the thousandths place is 3 away from the decimal, I get 2 zeros here and my 8 in the thousandths place. So these are examples of what these place values represent. Okay. On Khan, you are going to have 2 assignments. One of them is place value names. So they might be asking you what the names are written out. Okay. They're even going to say maybe tens place or ones place. Don't let it confuse you. And then you're going to do one that's value of a digit. So it'll be like, okay, which one represents 200ths? Okay. So you need to be aware of the place value they're talking about, the right words or the right value itself. Okay, use your notes to help you. There's 2 assignments to do. Hopefully it should be pretty easy breezy because it's mostly review except for that thousandths place. But I think you guys can handle it. All right, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I miss you and love you very much. Keep on keeping on, you guys. Love you. Bye.